this is Terry with your Supermoon partial lunar eclipse in Pisces. And I'm coming to you today. I wanted so bad to go outside for this full moon Pisces. I wish I was on a moonlit beach right now, or even by the rivers, lakes, or streams here in Oregon. But alas, we are having massive wildfires. Maybe you've heard about the wildfires in Oregon. We've had record-breaking wildfires, and we just couldn't film outside. As much as I wanted to bring my amethyst crystal and place it in the river and do Reiki by a lake or stream or ocean, all of Oregon, it just seems to be on fire, and it's very unhealthy skies, and we kept waiting for it to shift and procrastinating doing this video, and I finally just had to decide I'm gonna do it at home for this Pisces supermoon. And I want to announce the full moon giveaway. Every full moon I give away an astrology chart reading, and this time it is Ann Merritt Nelson. If you want to win for the next full moon, just like, subscribe, and comment to be in it to win it. So I think that the message of this eclipse portal, the eclipse portal is open now. It's really beginning with this supermoon partial lunar eclipse in Pisces, 12th house. Pisces rules that 12th house. We're going to be talking a lot about Pisces and the 12th house. And for me, the message that's coming through is that the more deeply you heal your own inner wounds, the more you will be able to manifest all that you desire by becoming a better energetic match to the things you desire. And I talk all about this in my Reiki for Abundance classes and my Reiki for Abundance book. But if you really want to manifest things, I know The Secret talks about calling it in with your imagination and visualization, but it's really about becoming a true energetic match. And sometimes the things that are blocking us from receiving, whether it's receiving and finding the love of your life, or your ideal job, or that infinity pool I'm still trying to become an energetic match to, you've got to go through some deep healing catharsis, healing crisis. You've got to heal your own deepest wounds. And have you ever gone through a true healing crisis? I'd love to know. Tell me all about it in the comments, because I am a massage therapist, Reiki master teacher, and I work with a lot of people. It seems like I really manifest and attract people going through a healing crisis. But when you've gone through that healing crisis or that dark night of the soul, afterwards, your life suddenly gets so much better. And then you just start manifesting all the things that you desire. And we still are in that beneficial grand trine KITE transit that is full of potential for us to really reach a higher level this lunar eclipse by stepping into your divine power. And there is just some deep healing that might have to happen first. It's like a detoxification process, and you may be feeling worse before it gets better. Just like when you have a cold or a flu as we move into cold flu season. So check on your highly sensitive friends. They are not okay right now. I can say myself, being a highly sensitive, empathic, intuitive healer, I am feeling all the feels going into this Pisces lunar eclipse. It's like there is just waves, ocean waves of emotion coming out of the ethers. I don't know if it's solar storms or all these retrogrades, or if it's the wildfires where I live in the smoky skies. I'm just feeling a little energetically off. Raise your hand. Let me know in the comments if you too are somebody who's highly sensitive and you are maybe feeling a little bit off. And I think this eclipse portal is really hitting the water signs, Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces. We're feeling it. And many people have been telling me they're not feeling so well in the eclipse readings that I've been doing. And I've been doing all these eclipse chart readings for the eclipse sale that I'm having right now. And you could still get in this eclipse chart reading sale for $88. I will let you know how all the fall eclipses, we have 2 fall eclipses. We have this one, and then we have the solar eclipse in Aries that's coming up in October, and how this fall eclipse portal will affect you personally, where it shows up in your astrology chart reading. And it seems like the issues that I'm seeing are people really needing space clearing, because people are having a combination of ghosts and weird entities in their homes, 4th house. And then I'm also hearing a lot about bad neighbors, and that's 3rd house. So this eclipse, if you have a ghost or a bad neighbor, boy, I have remedies for both of those. So I'm probably going to post another video really soon about how to get rid of bad neighbors. Raise your hand, leave it in the comments if you have bad neighbors or if you have a ghost. I've already posted a video about how to do a bridge of light. This is something I do all the time in space clearance to just help ghosts and spirits that are trapped in homes, to help them move on. But you can also do it for hospice. I'll talk about that later. But a lot of us are just feeling these ascension symptoms as we are energetically rising up, collectively awakening to this new 5D world, this higher vibrational energy that's coming in, and we are leaving behind the 3D world. Let me know if you know what I'm talking about. But everyone is being affected by this ascension energy as we are collectively rising up. And there's just some really big energetic shifts happening with 4 supermoons in a row. We started with that Aquarius supermoon. We have this month, we have Pisces supermoon. In October, we will have that Hunter moon in Aries, and that's a very volatile energy. That Aries supermoon will be the closest to Earth, so we're really going to be soaking in it and feeling the intensity of that Aries if you are an Aries, wherever you have Aries. But this Pisces harvest lunar eclipse is really awakening us to love with this grand trine KITE. There is like an alarm clock going off, and we cannot hit snooze this month. We have got to wake up. We've got to collectively wake up, because it is time to make a change. Eclipses are all about big changes coming in. I'm talking to you, especially if you are a Pisces or a Virgo. You're on that Pisces Virgo axis. Maybe you have Pisces or Virgo as north node, south node. Then you would be having your north node return. That is a really big time when you are on your soul's big mission. And I've been through my north node in Aquarius, and I can tell you, if you're having your north node return, it's like spiritual boot camp, when spirit just says, you need to go here, you need to do this, you're going to change your whole life. And for me, it was uprooting and leaving Seattle and moving to Oregon. I mean, it was like huge, and it almost feels like you have no choice in it, just like joining the army. It's like the spiritual army where you just have to go here, do this. And it's a little bit out of your control, so that's really interesting. But this partial lunar eclipse in Pisces, we are just beginning. We're at the first eclipse, entering that Pisces Virgo axis that we will be in for all of next year. So I'm going to continue to unpack Pisces and Virgo energy and all of what that means over the next few months. And this eclipse is a catalyst that's really bringing momentum to rise into your divine purpose, because we have that KITE transit, and that is all about breakthroughs and quantum leaps, because of course Uranus is involved, the planet of breakthroughs and quantum leaps. And this collective awakening that I have been talking about all year long, if you've been watching my reports, I really covered this awakening in depth in my 9-star key astrology reading for the year of 2024, as we are in that wood dragon, 3 fast-growing wood tree, a lot of fast-moving changes happening. And if you haven't seen that, I will link it in the description. This dragon year, dragons in Chinese astrology always bring collective awakening and something really profound shift that is happening. And it's not all rainbows and unicorns, as I like to say in my Reiki classes. It feels a lot like when you get a Reiki attunement, and that just opens your heart chakra, and you have all this love pouring in. And even though that's a beautiful thing, it brings up all kinds of things that you need to heal. So within this collective awakening is also a collective universal healing that is taking place right now. And as we are awakening into this 5D reality that we're calling in, but in the process, we have to release, detoxify, let go of all those lower level 3D realities. And there is a crumbling that is happening on our earth, and that includes releasing fear. How many of you are releasing fear right now? There's so much fear in our world to just detoxify, and releasing hate and scarcity. And what other low vibration 3D things can you think of? I'd love to know. But if you want to go through this practice quicker, just like receiving a Reiki attunement, you got to tap into your heart. You got to get into your love vibration, that 432 hertz. We did a whole recording on tapping into the love vibration, and it's 432 hertz opens that heart chakra. And this awakening process is going to require all of us to have this heart-centered participation. Your participation is being called upon during this Pisces lunar eclipse. And we all have to choose love right now and tap into that state of love, to love ourselves, to love our neighbors, to love our family, to love the one you're with. I don't know. You got to give love, be love to make it all happen. And the more you love, the faster you will have ascension. And the more love vibration you can call in right now, the less of those ascension symptoms that you will be dragging you down. So this grand trine KITE transit is an invitation to love right now, an invitation to awaken, to tap into your talent, to tap into your divine purpose. Depending where it is in your chart, it's a call to start doing what you love. You can do what you love, and the money will follow when you do what you love with passion. It's amazing. And I dare say this is a miracle moon we are moving into. That this moon may just hold the medicine that we need. Because Pisces in the 12th house rules over medicine. Energy medicine, all the herbal apothecary, that's all 12th house Pisces. Reiki is found 12th house Pisces. Pisces in the 12th house also rules over hospitals and insane asylums. So they will be busy during this lunar eclipse, I guarantee you, with the supermoon. I bless the nurses and health providers and doctors and practitioners and all the psychologists. I know you guys are going to be busy. All the therapists. We may just see some mental health breakdowns to break through to the other side. This is definitely a breakdown to break through, right? So if you're breaking down to break through, just, I honor you. I send you Reiki. You're going to get through it. It's going to get better. But there's a lot of people who are also crossing over right now. My goodness. 12th house is that final house. If you look at the zodiac wheel, we have 12 houses. And that 12th house is about endings, death, going off into the other worlds, right? It's that very other world. Death leading to transformation and rebirth. We can have ghosts. I'm seeing so many ghost stories right now too in just these eclipse chart readings. And I've been sending so many bridges of light. I think I've sent 8 bridges of light this month for clients who have family members or situations. And I'm honestly worried about my dog. My dog Kinkajou. I might put a picture in here of my dog because he's such a sweetheart. He might just cross over on this supermoon because he is elderly and he's nearing hospice, and it breaks my heart to think of losing my dog. I've had this dog since, 2007, and he's getting old and fragile, but he has Pisces moon at 27 degrees in the 12th house of endings and crossing over, and this partial lunar eclipse is going to go right over his Pisces moon. My poor dog. I don't know. I'm going to really spend that night. I'll be with my dog on this lunar eclipse because it's nearly conjunct his moon, and I am a Pisces moon myself, so I'm feeling all the feels. I'm feeling very emotional in this Pisces lunar eclipse. Pisces are very emotional. Think Elizabeth Taylor. She is a Pisces. Talk about an emotional person. But it's bringing up all the feels for Kinkajou. And yes, you can use astrology on your pets. If you just happen to know the time and date and place where they were born, I feel really blessed because I have that exact information for my dog. I don't have it for my homeless rescue cat, but it's really fun to do your animal astrology chart reading, and I offer that service too if you want to get your animal, your pet, your dog, your cat, your goldfish. I love to do astrology charts for pets. And if you know somebody who is crossing over, or you have a ghost or spirit in your house, do this bridge of light. And I have a video. I will link it down below because the veil is getting thin now. And the ghosts and spirits are 12th house. 12th house rules over ghosts and spirits. So we may be hearing more from the ghosts and spirits as we go into this season of the veil is thin. And anytime we have a lunar eclipse, especially if Pluto and Saturn are retrograde, the veil is thin. We're going to be hearing from the ghosts and the spirits, and I will link it in the description. It includes a powerful blue flame technique that you can use to see if there is a ghost in your house. It's really fun. But Pisces rules over the supernatural. So this can be some really spooky energy coming in with this Pisces partial lunar eclipse. And even going all the way into 2025, we've got some big energies with that Pisces Virgo axis. I will probably do a separate astrology reading for the Pisces Virgo axis, just like I did for the Aries Libra this year. But we also have this truly optimistic energy of this grand trine kite of potential that is still impacting us. I talked about this in depth in my new moon Virgo reading. If you haven't already watched that, go back and watch it because this is a once in a lifetime moment to really step into your talent, step into your divine purpose, to become who you were meant to be, depending where Uranus and Taurus hangs out, Pluto and Capricorn, Neptune and Pisces. Get to know where these transits are happening, and the Sun in Virgo is holding that tension rod. And Supermoon Pisces at 25 degrees will be nearly conjunct Neptune in Pisces at 28 degrees. And that is in a trine to Uranus, who just went retrograde in Taurus. And I'm creating a separate report for Uranus retrograde, stay tuned. And that is trine also Pluto in Capricorn that just retrograded back to 29 degrees, that critical degree point that we were at for all of 2020. And when we were in that COVID lockdown, that was Capricorn, Pluto, Capricorn, 29 degrees. So we're kind of revisiting. Maybe we left something back there. We got to go back and pick it up. Maybe we left our keys. Maybe we left your wallet. You got to go back. And Pluto's got to go back and get something, right? What is it? And that might be a separate report. And then Sun in Virgo is down below. If you look at the chart, I'm going to put the chart here. You look at the chart and Virgo is holding the tension rod. Just like when you're doing a kite and, you know, there's that tension rod and Virgo is controlling. What can you imagine? Of course it's Virgo controlling everything, right? The Virgo's in control of the kite. And it's a lot going on. At the new moon, it was Venus holding that tension rod. Venus, our heart chakra love, Venus was holding the tension rod before, but Venus has now moved through Libra. Venus went through Libra so fast. She's speeding up. Venus is rising. She's getting more powerful every day, I tell you. She's moving so fast that she's going to be in Scorpio. Woo, woo. This is really good for Scorpios. If you're a Scorpio looking for love, like I know a few of you Scorpios are, on September 22nd, right at the equinox, Venus will enter Scorpio. I cannot wait. And there's just a lot to unpack here with this grand trine kite transit on this supermoon in Pisces, lunar eclipse. Neptune in Pisces is all about illusions, delusions, and confusion. I feel like I'm in a house of mirrors, but it's begging us to tap into our intuition, our higher crown chakra mind, our dreams, and that Alice in Wonderland imagination that just wants to create something beautiful, mystical, magical. And this is trining Uranus in Taurus, causing surprising, unexpected twists of fate, or perhaps it's climate change. Uranus in Taurus is climate change, and climate change isn't out there coming way in the future. Climate change is happening right here, right now. I can't even go outside my front door because the smoke. I have like smoker's voice, if you hear it in my voice. I sound like I've been smoking a pack of cigarettes, but that's just because I went out to get the mail. I mean, we are soaking in climate change. That's Uranus and Taurus. We could see earthquakes, volcanoes, floods, mudslides. Some kind of Uranus and Taurus event could happen. It's probably a flood because Pisces is involved, right? So big earth climate changes, Uranus and Taurus. And they will transform us because we've got Pluto in Capricorn. Pluto in Capricorn, that death, transformation, rebirth. Pluto, ruler of the underworld. Pluto wants you to go into your subconscious, to heal those deep, dark wounds, to heal your inner child, to do the therapy, do the hypnosis. Pluto is asking you to do some ancestral healing, to heal the 7 generations back. Pluto has retrograded back to Capricorn, and Pluto is also saying we won't go back to what this was. Pluto was reminding us of what 2020 was, and we won't go back. I just created these t-shirts that say we won't go back. I'm selling them down below. You can find the link, and I'm going to donate 100% of the proceeds to Kamala Harris's campaign because it is so important that we don't go back. We can't go back. We just can't. And I really trust that Sun in Virgo with the tension rod, because Virgos are some of the most earthy, grounded, salt of the earth, trustworthy people I know. They're just grounded in reality. So Virgo is making sure that as crazy as it's about to get, that kite doesn't just fly off into netherland. Virgo is making sure that we are rooted in the earth. And let's look at how that kite will be hitting Kamala this week, with Kamala and Trump debating going into this kite of energy. Are you kidding? You can't make this stuff up. It's a crazy time for them to get together. But let's just look at how this grand trine kite transit will be affecting Kamala and Donald Trump for just a moment. Because Kamala Harris has that Sun in Virgo that is holding the kite into reality. That Sun in Virgo is crossing her stellium of planets in Virgo. She just had that Sun in Virgo conjunct Uranus. Surprise your candidates now. And Sun conjunct Pluto is a big life-altering transit for her. Big life-altering changes for her. And I think she's going through some big life-altering. She's stepping into her power. And we are all being asked to tap into our hearts. And Kamala Harris has that Sun-Venus Cazimi. When the Sun and Venus come together, she is lighting up her heart. She is tapped into the heart. She is right for this moment. She is using the power of love and belonging to succeed. And there's nothing better than a Venus Sun Cazimi for manifesting your heart's desire. And she is literally anchoring this kite transit for us all with her divine love presence. And Venus has her back. You know, Kamala Harris, her middle name is Devi, D-E-V-I, Devi. And Devi literally means divine feminine. And Venus is all about that divine feminine rising. So it really feels inspiring that Venus would conjunct Kamala Harris's Sun during this election time, during this eclipse portal, calling for change, saying we choose love, we choose divine feminine rising over fear, hate, or greed. And she is just aligned to the times. I can't believe it. But the Pisces supermoon will also cross over her Chiron in Pisces. And this is lighting up any areas that Kamala Harris may need to heal in her 10th house of career and recognition. And that is interesting because Neptune in Pisces is also there in her 10th house of career and recognition, where she will need to transcend the bullshit, I believe. It sounds about right for a debate with Trump. If she can transcend any negativity, Neptune in Pisces is about transcending the lower vibrations and use her intuition and her imagination and her divine inspiration. Let spirit come through her during that debate. She will outsmart him this week, I do believe. And this grand trine is really working in her favor because it puts her into a state of synchronicity. Neptune in Pisces is synchronicity, when you are spirit led and you just come into synchronicity. It seems like heavenly in some ways. It seems like maybe her mother is helping her from the other side, or she could be channeling divine wisdom from her mother, who's a great speaker, or spirit coming through her, spirit, some higher vibrational entity is coming through her, and I do believe this is possible, and there's a kismet sense of luck on her side when the wind is in your sails, and this luck is working in her favor with that Pisces in the 10th house, and on this Pisces supermoon when she's debating. And then Uranus in Taurus shows up in her 12th house, where she just had a very powerful Uranus-Jupiter conjunction, just like the world just had a Uranus-Jupiter conjunction, but she had a personal Uranus-Jupiter conjunction. You can see it in the chart. And there are higher forces working in her favor right now. That's what that says. She is literally channeling this desire for greater freedom. And she is a big part of this crumbling and releasing the old ways to make room to usher in this new paradigm, this new way forward, this new 5D world. She's so aligned to the new. And Pluto in Capricorn is in her 8th house of sex, death, and other people's money. And this house is naturally ruled by Pluto. And so she is receiving some huge financial windfalls of money that's just being donated to her right now. As Capricorn is wealth in the 8th house. That is wealth just coming in, donations, as we're clearly seeing that to be true. And this kite is definitely aligning in the most optimistic, positive ways for her. It's really supporting her process. So this just shows you how, if you look in your own chart at these houses of Pisces, Capricorn, and Virgo, we see how they're affecting Kamala Harris, and we all have those signs somewhere in our charts. So get out your chart and let me know where those signs show up. This is the work I do when I do an eclipse chart reading. I just look at the houses and where they're showing up. And I will give you a mini reading in the comments if you tell me if you know where your Pisces, Capricorn, Virgo, and Taurus are. And now let's look at Trump's chart, because this is really interesting. He has Neptune in Pisces, and the supermoon lunar eclipse will be in his 8th house. Now Pisces in the 8th house is not as lucky as Capricorn in the 8th house, because Capricorn's about money. 8th house is about money. When you got Capricorn in the 8th house like Kamala has, that's like money coming in. But when you have Pisces, the water sign of endings in the 8th house, it's more like about death, or just, it's not quite as lucky as what she had in her 8th house. So Neptune in Pisces and the supermoon will be in Trump's 8th house of sex, death, and other people's money. There can be some confusion around either a sexual encounter or shared resources like a joint account, joint funds, or properties. And the lines can really get blurred at this time between what belongs to you and what belongs to somebody else. And this reminds me of a breakup or a divorce where you're trying to separate, like, no, that lamp is mine, that was my mother's lamp, and that's your guitar. And you're just trying to separate. It's kind of that confusion, and lines are being blurred, what belongs to you and what belongs to your partner. And there could be some fraud here. Neptune in Pisces in the money house is fraud around joint funds and how they're being used. It could even be a mishandling of campaign funds, because that would also be a joint resource. The supermoon will come across and light this up. There will be a story that comes out about money and mishandling money this week, I do believe. And Uranus in Taurus is showing up in Trump's 10th house of career and recognition. And this is creating revolutionary change to his position in life. And I tell you, I've had Uranus and Taurus in my own 10th house all year. So I know it's unpredictable and it's hard to tell what will happen because Uranus is the planet of surprises, but Trump is going to have a surprise in his career recognition sector. What will happen when this surprising planet crosses, and he's not on even ground in his job currently, right? He doesn't really have the job yet. It feels like that. And Uranus is heading towards Gemini next. Uranus moves very slow, but when Uranus enters Gemini, Trump will have his Uranus return. And Uranus returns are typically about retiring or ending your career. And it can be an extremely volatile energy when you have a Uranus return, but generally it indicates an end of an era, something big that is ending. So in that sense, it would make sense that Trump's entire career is ending in some way. And that indicates he's going to lose, clearly, because you can only have really one Uranus return in life because it comes when you're so old. It comes, Uranus return doesn't happen. This is how slow Uranus moves. You won't have a Uranus return until you're 80 years old. Can you believe that Trump is 80 years old? When I was looking at his chart, I was like, is he really that old? But yeah, he's about to become 80, and that's when he'll have Uranus return. And he would be our oldest president of all history if he was to win. And we've had a lot of old white men already as presidents, but this would be the oldest white man ever. Could we please say no to that? I mean, I don't care. It's not personal. I just don't want another really ancient old white man. Can we please choose something else? And let's see what else. I see divorce. I see divorce coming here because Pluto in Capricorn at 29 degrees. Pluto is just so powerful, crossing his 5th house, which is in Capricorn. Nothing remarkable there. He doesn't have any planets or anything, but there may be something that changes with his relationship to his children with this KITE. And some of that negotiating resources with the spouse in 8th house could have to do with a potential divorce. I'm seeing divorce all over this. With Melania, that has been speculated about, and some say she is being paid off to stay with him until the election is over. That's 8th house. And perhaps there's a shift in his relationship with his youngest son if he does get a divorce. That is what Pluto is, a change with relationship with children. It could be any of his children, but there's some big change that is happening. I mean, his youngest son is going off to college, and that's an empty nest, big change anyways, but there's something even bigger happening here with this trine. And Virgo sun holding that tension rod of the KITE transit. For Trump, it shows up in his 1st house of who he is, which is in opposition with this Supermoon Pisces eclipse that's really right on that cusp between his 7th house of relationships and his 8th house of joint finances and joint resources. So this is causing a big cataclysmic change in relationships, joint finances, and how he is in relationship with his children. Dun dun dun. If that doesn't say divorce, he's getting divorced. I will put money on it. Neptune, confusion over shared resources. I just smell a divorce coming, and I talked about this even way back when in Trump's astrology reading at the beginning of the year. If you've watched that video, I say, will Trump win? And I talk about how I think he's going to get a divorce close to the election. I think Melania's just hanging in there, hanging on. She's probably been paid off to stay with him until he gets elected or not. We shall see. But Trump has that Saturn in Pisces in his 7th house of relationship. And God, Saturn in Pisces crossing your 7th house of relationship, that also brings hard lessons to his love life. Who could focus on an election or a debate with Saturn in the 7th house? Let me know if you've experienced Saturn in the 7th house. I had it once, and it was a really bad breakup. And it's tough stuff for Trump. I have compassion for him because these are not easy transits. These transits are relationships crumbling. So I think he's got his love life to worry about as he's in this election. And we just had that Saturn opposition happening just yesterday on September 7th as I was getting ready to record this. And that was the best chance to see Saturn in the night sky just after sunset. Let me know if you got to see it, because of course we had clouds here in the Pacific Northwest. And I look forward to seeing the images from NASA, though. They have a better camera anyways. And Saturn in Pisces may be putting some roadblocks or obstacles in front of all of us this month. And do you know what house Pisces is in your chart? That's where you will be receiving some powerful lessons for mastery. And do you ever notice that you have the worst scarcity or problems right before you quantum leap into something far better? Like maybe you're on unemployment and then you get the dream job of your life, or you're really depressed about being single and then you meet the love of your life, or that contrast that causes you to desire. When your life is so miserable, you desire your way out of it. So if you're not happy where you are right now, I want you to make a list of the things you don't like. That is your contrast list. And then make a second list of your desires. I do this all the time. So your contrast list may say things like, I don't like where I'm living right now. And your desire list says, I am manifesting a new home and a new location that supports me better energetically. Or I don't like my neighbors. I am manifesting new neighbors who I love. I had a really great time. I used this technique to get rid of some bad neighbors. I'm going to do a separate video on my neighbor technique because I was amazed how quickly it worked. And then I manifested this neighbor who I absolutely adore now. And you may be upset that you're in debt right now. So that's your contrast. And you are not alone. So many people are in debt right now. I'm hearing it from a lot of people as I'm doing these readings. But you can just say, for contrast, I'm not happy about all the debt I have. And then in your desire list, I am manifesting new creative ways to make more money swiftly to pay off all my debts. And I have more than enough money for everything I need and everything I want. I'm thinking about doing a course on energy healing for debt, because I have done this course myself and before with Reiki students in Seattle, and it is amazing, and it feels like it's time to do it again. But yeah, this is a great time during Saturn in Pisces retrograde to do this kind of contrast to desire list. And we will have Saturn quintile Uranus on September 20th, going into the equinox. I'm going to cover that on my next equinox reading. And I hope to unpack more about that Pluto, 29 degrees of Capricorn. The final time Pluto is in Capricorn in our lifetimes. I'll put more about that in my next report. But for now, I'm just going to leave you with the Sabian symbol for this incredible lunar eclipse. It's full of so much potential with this grand trine. KITE transit, get excited, make it all happen, put out your dreams and manifest them. And Pisces at 25 degrees is a religious organization that succeeds in overcoming the corrupt influence of perverted practices and materialized ideals. And the keynote is the power of the soul to intervene in the personal life and induce a necessary catharsis. Whew, I love that. Pisces is all about the soul catharsis. Break down to break through. Yeah, let's just do it. I'm a Scorpio. I'm not scared. Let's do it. the power of the soul to intervene in the personal life and induce a necessary catharsis. Excess conscious attention on greed for power and wealth can bring negative results. Every man is a church that has a soul as its God. But most people forget the soul and live according to dogmatic rules and habits that have become empty of inner meaning. A purging catharsis is needed to restore a fresh and creative spontaneity through contact with your soul. This final consummation of the process of actualization of potency inherent in the original creative act requires moments of crisis and then purification. Don't be afraid of the crisis that may come. We may have a healing crisis that leads to purification so we can rise higher. Just go with it, right? I didn't read the Sabian symbol until just now, but it completely aligns with what I was saying in the beginning, that we are in a process of detoxification, purification. Before we can ascend to this higher level, we got to get rid of all the crap that's weighing us down, right? Something is going to end this month. For so many of us, these eclipses is about endings and beginnings. So don't be afraid if something ends, to make way for a fresh, new era that is more energetically aligned, so that you can call in the things that you desire and become an energetic match to them. It's like a massive lightning storm, which we just had a massive lightning storm ruled by Uranus. How dramatic a lightning storm can be. It's almost scary. But then afterwards, everything just smells so fresh and clean. There's an electricity in the air. It's exciting. You may even see a rainbow appear at the end of your storm, and your hope will be restored. And if you're feeling awful this month, as so many people I know are kind of feeling off, you might just be getting ready to transcend to a higher plane. You might just be having ascension symptoms. You're going to get through it. It's going to get better. And I'll be there with you every step of the way. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.